Addiction is powerful, but there's no powerful God. And see, for me, it's clean and sober. Without God, there's no way. And it's so much trauma. And God, if He forgive me, God, He set me free from my past, my problem. God, He can do anything. I just surrender to my King. I say, God, I surrender.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted. Just so excited to be here again with you today because it's actually our 1 year anniversary of getting to do these amazing unscripted episodes with some of our different pastors here at Broadway. And if you don't know me, my name is Desiree, and I'm also one of the pastors here. But we have a very special guest with us today. We have Pastor Jemal with us. Pastor Jemal, how are you doing today?
I'm very good.
Good.
Very privileged to be here.
We're so happy to have you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And so, Pastor Jemal, before we even get started, can you please just let us know, first of all, what your title is here at Broadway and a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I'm Club Freedom, the director, and I'm chaplain too. And where I work the most, we have every Sunday in the warehouse, we have people come in and to our warehouse, we have food and we have worship, and we do a lot of things there because most people, they don't feel like comfortable to come to the church because of how they dress and what happened. So we created that the warehouse is very good. People who come in, and my job is to connect them to do a drug and alcohol program, anything they need. And usually we do a lot of outreach too. Go east side downtown, downtown east side down. And then we go a lot of in LA people, just whatever they need to be, and do a lot of hospital visits, whatever people they need help for any drug and alcohol, anything you need, and then I'm there.
That's amazing. So while we are up here on a Sunday morning having a service, there's also a service down at the warehouse that you guys are running with worship, and you preach, and you're basically getting to connect with so many different people and meeting their needs really practically.
Yes.
So that's really cool. It's an awesome job. And how long have you been working here at Broadway?
Broadway, I've been working here 4 years, but I was
4 years.
I was volunteering at the Club Freedom when I'm working right now in 10 years.
Wow.
I was volunteering for 10 years.
10 years. So you were volunteering for 6 years, and then we finally snagged you.
That's right.
And we got you on staff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great to hear. So, Pastor Jemal, before we get into your interview and getting to know you, we have a little bit of a tradition here on Unscripted. So can you please tell us a fun fact about yourself that we wouldn't have known if we didn't know you very well?
First crap, that's funny. Usually, my son and I, we play many soccer in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have a backyard, and even summertime, we play even from outside. Every time when we come in the house, me and him, we play many soccer inside the house. And my wife, she's not happy because we break things, we break the clock, and that's amazing. Like, we have that backyard right there outside.
Yeah.
But we decided to just, even this morning, I played with him in soccer, so it was a funny thing to do.
You prefer the inside?
We are prefer. I love soccer, he loves soccer, so all the time we have a ball in the house, just...
That's so fun. And just to clarify, is this like upstairs in the living room, in the kitchen, in the basement?
Living room.
The living room. Okay. Sounds fun. Yeah. So who usually wins? Also, just curious.
Usually he wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Just for future reference.
Yes.
Okay, well, why don't we get started? So, Pastor Jemal, could you just tell us a little bit about your first experience with God?
It's a long story. I can take you back all the way Africa. Okay. I grew up in Ethiopia, East Africa. I have 6 brothers and 4 sisters. So when I was there, one thing is the most is play soccer in Africa. And my dad, he's a Muslim. I grew up in a Muslim family. I memorized all Quran when I was young.
Wow.
And when I was 15 in Ethiopia, we have a civil war. And then the first time when we walked to school, many miles to go to school, I got kidnapped by military.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of my friends, they want to escape, and just, I was 15 years old. We're training a few weeks, we get the gun, and I was in the front war for 2 years.
Wow.
And then next day we know, and a week later, they put us in the front. There's so much war. So we've been fighting, it was too much noise, and I don't remember last time when I changed my socks. I remember when the last time we just place another places. Wow. There's so many young people dead in that moment, in that civil war.
Wow.
So I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the last time when I have a good sleep because I was young.
Yeah.
And finally, and they changed us from one place to another place. We tried to, we get the chance to escape. And then my friend and I, and then we just walking because we have a lunch break.
Okay, so you and your friend, they were moving you guys and you kind of took that opportunity to escape.
Yeah.
How long were you guys involved in that? How long were you guys trapped there?
It was, so they give us for 2 hours to just, fresh up and stretch your legs.
Yeah.
But when we walking, we saw that camel ride, they're gonna go to Djibouti. So we asked them, can we go with you guys? They are ready, they're just pulling the camel. So I said like, yeah, we give us some money, we'll take you, we're going to Djibouti. So like, we don't have any money, but we have a gun. We trade our gun
Wow.
to get right to Djibouti with them. So it take us 3 days walking. We stay, we camp, they feed us.
Wow.
And then we go to Djibouti.
Wow. And how long have you been a child soldier up until that point?
I've been 2 years.
2 years.
I served 2 years in
Wow.
child soldier, and then finally try to escape
So you escape, they bring you to this new place called
Djibouti.
Okay, and then what happens?
In Djibouti, we're homeless. We just, people they give us some food, and then finally we saw the ship. And, we don't know even where to go with that ship. So we decided, you know what, we need to get stored away again. So what we did is, and then me and my friend here, we have another friend. We just join us there. It's like, okay, tonight we're gonna go swim. And then we go back in the ship. We swim, and then we go to anchor, we hide it, and the ship is gone. So we came out after a day, and then the ship was in Israel.
Oh, wow.
Israel, they don't take us refugee, and then now next to go Japan, our ship.
Japan.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the captain, he said, I'm not taking you there. So they throw us water. After they pass the Djibouti, I don't know how many hours, how many days.
Yeah.
And then they just throw us in the water.
Okay, so you guys are physically in the water.
Out physically in the middle of the night, we
Wow.
are in the water. 5 young boys, we are in the water. And me, my friend and I, we know how to swim. But the rest of the 3 of them, they don't know how to swim. They know, but it's not that much. They get tired, so I have to carry 2 guys in here
Wow.
and swim in the night, in the day. I don't know how long. Finally, I was so tired. It was salt water, and I have to let it go. There's 2 guys.
Wow.
I saw them just sinking in my own eyes.
Wow.
It was a nightmare. And then I would just give up. I would give up in that moment. Friend of mine, we were just crying. We were just talking each other, talking something. We grew up with my friend there. So finally, a few days later, we find the land. And I don't remember that land. We just tired and lay down. Next day when we wake up, all snake around us, and just to survive.
Wow. So that sounds like a lot. So in that moment, when you were holding on to your friends and you had to make that decision to let them go, what was that like for you?
It's very hard for me to let him go, because if I don't let it go, all of us is gonna die. And I carry as soon as I can. I do all my power to just swim. And we just turn around, we don't know where we're going. It's like we don't know where we're swimming. There is no tide and anything. So it's so hard for me. Still, I remember when I close my eyes and just letting go of 2 guys there.
Yeah.
Because my other friend, he was helping the other guy. He let him go a long time ago. I was holding and for them. And when I was even in Montreal, they take me a long time to take a long shower, because I remember still that nightmare I have in the water.
I'm wondering if your whole time from the journey from being a child soldier to this moment on the boat, you had said that you were Muslim. I'm wondering if at any point were you wondering where God was? Were you praying? Like, what was your, where were you at with God in that moment?
When I was in the war, I left God behind because I was crying. I was totally mad at God. I said, God, we are all young, 15, 16, 17 is all young. Some of them, they have 14. and 13. They have young people, and then how come you do like this? So I was just left. I was atheist. I don't have anything to do with the Muslim religion anymore.
Yeah, understandable. And so you eventually ended up in Montreal. And so what happened? How did you get from landing in Montreal to where you are today, Pastor Jemal at Broadway Church?
Yeah, when I was in Montreal, I tried to have normal life. So I still drinking. If I stop drinking, I know nightmares coming. That's my medication. That's my pill. So when I was in Montreal, I still drinking. I tried to normal, and then I meet this woman, and then we get, and we get married. Yeah. And we have a baby. It was when I hold my daughter, I told myself, like, if I stop that drinking, I want to be a good father for my daughter. Now we name him as Bethlehem. So she is so beautiful, and when she was 3 years old, her birthday, 3 years birthday, and then I decided to leave the house because my wife, she said, you're too dangerous for us because you're drinking too much. So it was so sad, heartbroken when I left home and leave my daughter behind.
Yeah. So you left your daughter behind because you chose to pursue alcohol over your family. And what was that like? Like, what was the journey like? Where did you go?
After when my wife, she said, you have to choose one. If you don't stop drinking, you're not part of us. So I can't stop drinking because when I stopped drinking, I remember all this in the past.
Yeah.
So I chose drinking because I told if I'm drinking, this is my medication. I stop nightmare, stop everything. That's what I believe.
Right.
And then I went to Portland, Oregon. And the same friend of mine, we went to on the water together. He lives in Portland, Oregon. So we keep contacting. I went to Portland, Oregon. Yeah. So when I went to Portland, Oregon, instead of drinking, using drug and selling drug too, and it was so much. And that 10 years of my life, it just so upside down. Just so much fighting and so much drinking and gang, and I got shot twice. Wow. It's just so rough. Just so much. And then I decided to leave that Portland, Oregon, to come to Vancouver. And when I was in Vancouver, I don't know anybody, but I know how to survive, and to fit in my addiction. So when I was homeless, I was inside downtown. It's like to meet people, friends is very quick, and selling drug and doing things and sleeping outside. Yeah. And then one day, I was sleeping in the bridge, and one guy, he's sleeping beside me, the other at the camp. Yeah. And he said, let's go to Union Gospel Mission to eat. Yeah. Well, we have free food. So we went there and started eating. Before we eat, we have a gospel. They have somebody come and preach, and somebody testimony. That's why I heard about Jesus Christ. It's like, I heard so many things. Finally, I was 120 pounds. I was suicide so many times. I overdosed so many times inside downtown. I was in and out of the hospital so many times. And finally, I decided, it's like, you know what? Jesus, I hear everything about you. I want to know you. I want to serve you. And just cry all night in downtown, inside down. People just call me like a crazy. And then one guy, he tapped my head and my shoulder, say, are you okay? You need help? That's the first time I say yes. Many years, people are asking me, you need help? I say, no, I'm okay. Because I don't want anybody to know what is inside, what's going on me. Yeah. And then this guy, he take me to Union Gospel Mission and then intern in drug and alcohol program.
So you're living on the streets, you're haunted by many things in your past, you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, and you meet Jesus. And I'm wondering, what was that like, learning about a good God who loves you, but also, coming to peace with your past and some of the hardship that you had gone through?
You see, the first when I was accepting Jesus and just there in the moment and crying, I heard like the voice, like I feel like somebody talking to me. I see like God is talking to me. Like I say, God, only I need to move my addiction. Just cry, and then I believe that prayer. I tried to pray many times. That prayer is different prayer. I feel warm in my body. Everything is just and peace in my life. And then since then, God is present. God is powerful. I know that now He take away all my addiction. And 18 years clean sober, I never have one craving. I don't have even one desire.
Wow.
I never even imagined. I've never even dreamed to stop drinking and using drug. And that's the start now. And I promise my God, I say, you are my king. I want to serve you. But I need one thing is only to remove me my addiction. And just God, He take away all my darkness. He fill me with His light. Now I want to serve Him rest of my life. He is my king, my God, so much.
That's amazing. And so, Pastor Jemal, you go into this program, you encounter Jesus, He takes away your addiction, and then what happens between those moments and then getting to be here at Broadway Church, getting to serve people who have gone through some very similar things or similar addictions or similar thoughts that you've gone through?
Yeah, when I was in the program and they have a bus,
Yeah.
Sheila, she used to work here.
yeah.
She used to bring the guys in the Broadway Church.
Yeah.
That's how I meet Broadway Church. And every time when I came, I like to worship, but as soon as the services start, I fall asleep. I don't know why for 3 months, something like that, I just follow deep sleep because when I was in the program, I can't sleep. That is my best thing. My problem is not sleeping. So when I was here, I love the worship, but after the worship, I have the beautiful sleep I never had. So every Sunday, I can't wait. And I ask prayer. Every time I come here, I ask for prayer. And then the pastor, when he was in prayer and accepting Jesus, I did in this place, in the Broadway Church, in my home church.
That's amazing.
And then I can meet the pastor. And then Pastor Darren, he was my mentor for all these years. And it's amazing. You know, one thing is, and what I love about Pastor Darren, he never, like, the first one I meet him, I just told him, Pastor Darren, I need my mentor. It's like, sure, I will do that. You know, since then, and he take me in a wing, and he just, whatever is next step, I just follow him. Just amazing as how God work.
Yeah.
I can't do it alone.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And so, Pastor Jemal, if there is someone who's watching today and maybe they're going through something similar, maybe they're struggling with addiction or even maybe some discouragement from some trauma in the past, what would be some advice that you would give to them?
I think addiction is powerful, but it's not powerful in God. And see, for me, it's clean and sober. Without God, there's no way. And it's so much trauma. And God, if He forgive me, God, He set me free from my past, my problem. God, He can do anything. But what we have to do is just open the heart, say surrender. It's for me, is the best thing is it never happened to me. I just surrender to my King. I say, God, I surrender. Yeah. And I don't know anything, and I surrender. It's especially even like a journey, they have to have a friend around you, Bible study. I used to do Bible study here every Wednesday. That's why I meet my wife in this church here. Yeah. And it's a friend and mentor as all of us. Otherwise, I can't be, it's not only one person, it's me, I did it. And God, He do it, but God, He showed me the way, opened the doors. So many friends and around me.
Pastor Jemal, thank you so much for joining us today. And it's been such a privilege to hear some of your story and how God has turned so much tragedy and grief into something beautiful and is using your life to help so many people. And thank you so much to you guys for joining us today. If you want to find out more information about Pastor Jemal's book, it's called Forced Path, Order, Step. It's all going to be linked below, along with some of the ministries that he's involved with. And thank you again, Pastor Jemal, and thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you guys next time on Unscripted.